All right, well, I'll call the meeting of Parks Foundation and Quality of Life Committee to order. Approval of the minutes.
They look good to me. No changes. I approve.
None for me either. So minutes approved. Any announcements?
Councilmember Medina, I do
Yes,
not
sir.
have any this morning.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go on to agenda items. Number 4A, 2025 special events calendar. And is that going to be Beth presenting?
That is.
All right.
Yes.
It's yours.
Thank you. Can go to the next page. So our objectives and our goals haven't changed from our past years. We still want to provide the superior quality of life for all of our residents. We want to ensure diverse community members, so that they can participate and benefit. Wide range of interest, positive impact, and a sense of community for all. We want to provide free or low-cost entertainment and activities. We're building upon our partnerships with our local businesses and organizations. And we want to make our community aware of all the things within PROS and citywide programs and our services and facilities. And we want to incorporate any community and provide feedback and input. And we recognize and appreciate and celebrate our community as a whole. Next page. Our first events out of the gate for this year is S'mores on the Shores. This is a very popular event that is held at the reservoir. We have our spring version and our fall version of S'mores on the Shores. It's a very positive, community-based, and a very beautiful setting. Next page. Park lights and movie lights. This year we're going to work together with Cultural's Summer Jam series. We tested it out last year and we had an impact where it increased participation by almost, I think it was double. So we want to incorporate that. We are looking at a little different of a title for this series of events. We haven't settled on that because we're working with Cultural and they're just in the planning stages of that. But there should be a new name to this, but the same fun things between the Summer Jam and the movie series are going to take place. Next page. Colorado Remembers. This is our celebration of our military personnel and their families that happens at the Freedom Memorial. And this is our 12th anniversary year. Next page. Summer Vibes. This is part of that Bronco funding that we received last year. And this is the last part of that funding. So we have 3 more events. We are going to be at Fletcher, Utah, and we have to change from Mountain View Park due to a tournament with one of our local independent youth organizations having a tournament. So we're going to move that one to Bicentennial Park. Next page. We also are part of Global Fest again this year, working with the Office of International and Immigrant Affairs. We're in the planning stage of this, but this is going to be on June 14th on the Great Lawn. So we're looking forward to that and working together on that committee to help that event go off smoothly. Next page. 4th of July Spectacular. It's one of our biggest events on the 4th of July, so that'll be on the Great Lawn on July 4th. Next page. Minicon. Minicon is getting like rave reviews. Last year, it just seemed like it was bigger and better than before. A lot of different participants with that, the community, because it gets into their niches within providing something different for them. So Minicon, we do that in conjunction with the Library and Cultural Services and the museum. We all work together on this one to create this event. Next page. Fall into Fun is definitely a family friendly event. Our pumpkins go fast during this event, and it provides everything that's about fall, and people really enjoy it. Next page. The Veteran Salute. This is a very important event to us due to representing our military and honoring them. This event is going to have a little flexibility because of the locations that we're looking into. Our surveys last year from our participants really wanted the event moved back to the Wings Over the Rockies. By 3/4 of the people that have responded to our surveys. So we're looking at different venues and what that's going to entail within our limitations of our budget and everything. So it's either going to be on November 6th or November 12th. That is still pending, but we left it on the 12th at the Hyatt for presentation's sake. Next page. Holiday tree lighting. This past year, it was really a success moving it throughout the whole Great Lawn, connecting with the library and their Merrymakers event and the History Museum with their wreath event that's over there. And it turned out to be a very, very successful event, incorporating all of that and incorporating a larger part of the Great Lawn. Next page. So this is all the events at a glance throughout the entire year. And at this time, I can entertain any questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Murillo, any questions?
Yeah. How did you guys pick the park lights and movie nights locations? Because those feel, well, and I guess summer vibes, because I feel like they're different events that are in, like I recognize the summer vibes to be Ward 1. And then park lights, I'm not familiar with those parks, so I'm assuming they're Southeast Aurora.
So when we look at those, we tend to move our events within all the different wards. And so some years we might not be in a certain ward, and the next year we will. So that's kind of how we do that. I don't have the map right now that says exactly which ward they're all in. I'm sorry, I don't have that at my fingertips, but we do make an asserted effort to make sure that we move events within the wards as best we can, especially on those ones like park nights, movie nights, those type of things.
So is the strategy to pick a ward or two each year and like have more frequency in a particular ward as opposed to like one each ward every year?
No, the strategy is if we are in whatever ward like last year, that we move it to another ward this year. So it can kind of balance out how many events are in each ward. So it's kind of spread out as much as we can to not concentrate on any one particular ward. We're kind of unbalanced when we hit the Great Lawn all the time on some of those major events, but for all the little events, it does get spread out. Minda, do you have a comment about this question from the council member?
Yeah, I can kind of help. Yeah, I can help answer that a little bit. We do actually try to make sure that there is something in each ward all summer. So every ward should have an event, whether that is a parklight movie night or a summer vibe. Every single ward is being represented in each one of those events that are being posted.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Any other questions?
None from me.
Councilmember Coombs, did I hear you?
Yeah, I said I'm good. None from me.
Okay, just wanted to make sure I heard word. I have no comments either. Looks good. Hopefully we'll have more success on those. Just, I guess one question. Have we looked into any more about, I think I inquired last year sometime regarding Global Fest of making it maybe 2 days at least, maybe a Friday, Saturday or Saturday, Sunday, just to draw more people?
I'd have to go back to the committee because that committee is led by the Office of the International Affairs and Immigrant. Yeah, it's led by them. So I'd have to go back to that committee and ask that.
Okay,
Ruben.
thank you.
I know
Yes.
this year.
Councilmember Medina.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Councilmember Coombs.
I did have a question about that because this year it's being scheduled at the same time as Juneteenth. And so I did flag that for our staff as well. I think it just can make it a little bit hard because even though the Juneteenth Music Festival is in Denver, it draws a lot of Aurora residents. So that is one conflict I would try to avoid in the future.
Right, good point.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
All right, see no other questions. Thank you, Beth, for the presentation.
Thank you.
And move on to the next line item here, which is EFQL agenda item recap. Not sure who's presenting on that.
Councilmember Medina, this is Acting Director Green. I just would say that this is just we just want to bring this back up so that you could all see what all the agenda items were last year and you know what the outcome was for them. I want to make sure you had that in your agenda packet in case you wanted to review it. I don't think we need a large presentation on this, but just to remind if there was anything that needed follow-up, we just want to make sure we went back and went over this with you. You just scroll up just a little bit, Lauren. I think we're missing part of it. There we go. So if you had any questions, we would entertain those. And then if just making sure that we had an opportunity to ask the council members of the committee if there's any of these things that need to be revisited or items that they want considered for 2025 agenda.
Councilmember Coombs, any questions?
Yeah. So I think going back up regarding the medians, we continue to hear quite a bit, especially in Ward 5, about medians and turf conversions, mostly turf conversions in medians. And I did also bring this up as a topic for water as well. I strongly support the conversion of medians to use less water. I don't think we should be using our limited resources to water medians, but I would like to have some discussion about other types of landscaping that we can do that are still going to be attractive while being low use. And I think folks have rightly brought up some examples of other areas of the city where that's being done. So I had brought this up to Marshall, but I wanted to bring it up here as well. Just a conversation about cost analysis of what it would look like to do some different types of landscaping or making sure that in the process of reducing water use in medians, we're also making sure there's a beautification component.
Thank you,
Councilmember Coombs,
Councilmember
we'll
Coombs.
coordinate with Marshall on that.
Thank you.
All right, Councilmember Murillo.
Nothing at this time. If we did want to add an agenda item, is that an email that we can send? I'm assuming that's perfectly fine.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please share that with
Okay.
us.
Want to make sure that's good with Chair Medina too.
Yep, you're good.
Okay.
All right, nothing from me. So thank you, Mr. Bryan.
You're welcome.
And on to the next piece, which is any miscellaneous matters for consideration.
I have one, Councilmember Medina.
Go ahead, Mr. Green.
I just wanted to speak to a couple highlights. On January 10th, we had our Open Space Volunteer Steward Appreciation Dinner where we honored volunteers that put a lot of hours and effort into working on volunteer projects throughout the open space areas of the city. We were able to recognize that we had a total number of volunteer hours last year of 7,702 hours from that group of about 300 volunteers. About 305 volunteers put in those 7,700 hours of volunteer labor, which equates to a value of about $258,000 in labor that was volunteered to the city. We organized about 64 different volunteer opportunities for that group, and there were 49 different volunteers that all volunteered more than 20 hours each. So it was a good appreciation dinner. We had a lot of awards for those folks, and just wanted to mention it to the committee members.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that people are participating in that and making a difference. All right, yeah, anything else from anyone else? Not topics for next month's meeting?
It's open for consideration at this point. We're still working on a few things, so I don't have a preview for you unless there's something any of the managers have that I'm not aware of. Yep.
Okay. Not anything from any of the committee members, Councilmember Murillo, Councilmember Coombs?
I don't have any agenda items, but I did just want to let you all know that I do have for that particular meeting a work conflict, an event that was already scheduled, so I will not be in attendance next month.
Yeah, thank you. All right. See no other issues, and I will adjourn the meeting.
Thanks,
So,
everyone.
thank you all. Appreciate it.